Okay, so here we are, and Gianluca Masi is speaking from Virtual Telescope Project, and I'm very happy to welcome you on this new appointment with the February stars. We've been describing the stars month by month over the last year now, so some of you who joined every of these events now should have the feeling of a changing starry panorama over there. And I must say that February is a very nice month for those willing to observe as much of the winter sky as possible without without staying awakened for a lot of time. I just want to say that this time of the year, February, you can really enjoy some of the best stars and constellations very early in the night, soon after the astronomical twilight. So if you really missed the winter stars and winter wonders over the last weeks and maybe also the coldest weeks of the year, you have a very nice opportunity now to fix this problem. So I just shared with you a star map showing what is up in the sky, at least for mid-latitudes. This map is calculated for plus 42 degrees of latitude, so this is a northern latitude, but this is basically true with some good matches for many other places. Of course, friends joining from the southern hemisphere will not find this useful, but maybe that they will wish at some point to jump into the northern hemisphere to see our own stars, as we really love to go there and see their stars. And this map is just showing stars and with the directions along the horizon, as well as the Milky Way, and I just asked the software to cancel every name, every line, as the sky has no names and no lines over there. So these are just the stars shining on February 14 at 8 p.m. for our mid-northern latitude place. Without any name here, even if you do not recognize stars and shapes here, you can still see that a lot of bright stars are sitting in the very same part of the star map, and this is basically between the zenith, that is the center of the map, and the southern directions. That is the place where you will meet all the best winter stars. But it is now time for me to add something more, like for example the names of the constellations and the constellations lines. This of course will make easier for you to understand what is what in this star map. So the new map is coming, and this will come automatically. As always, you have just to wait, and this will show without troubles, I hope. I'm always here trying to confirm that the system is working, just checking that at least the very first image is working. And I don't see it, so let me send it again. I think that now the star map should come. So you will see it is coming. Okay, I see that the very same stars is just showing in a magician way lines and names, and this is a perfect match between the two maps. And if you really want to save one of these maps or all these maps, you just have to click on the image. This will open the largest resolution, and you can then easily save the star map as usual with your right mouse button. As you can see, there are some autumn stars going away to west. They are really leaving the sky, and this is the winged horse Pegasus as well as Andromeda, while Cassiopeia is still there very bright, and actually those stars will never go away if you are north enough to have them always above your horizon. But for sure, Cassiopeia is leaving and losing her leadership after weeks and weeks when she was almost over there, overhead. So she is leaving his own throne to other stars, now climbing high in the sky. Also, you see Perseus, which is the eastern of all the autumn constellations, and at the beginning of the night, Perseus is very, very high. So you can really have fun with Perseus. So still, you have a chance to explore the autumn stars. And to be honest, you can see that northwest, you can still see the Swan Genius with the bright Deneb. So you can still capture summer stars. But it is time here to really enjoy at their best position in the sky the winter stars, and they are basically introduced by Orion, the giant hunter. And I must say that the shape of Orion is by far the most impressive I can at least see over there. That is at least my opinion. And I have here the confirmation of a number of ancient civilizations who really decided to remember in that stars something important for there, like for example gods or heroes. And if you just go through the culture of many civilizations over the last thousands of years, you will be really impressed seeing how many things our ancestors saw in the direction of what we call the Orion constellation. This is just impressive, I must say. Of course, all around you will find the typical winter constellations like the Bull, like Auriga, like Gemini, the twins. I still prefer to use the Latin names, also because, as you know, they are the official ones. And it is good for me because they are Latins. You know, I live in Rome, where Latin was actually, I would say, invented, you know. So this is for me particularly funny, and I'm proud of this. And also you see the big dog and the little dog, Canis Major and Canis Minor, marked by outstanding stars, especially the major one, as it hosts the brightest night star of all, Sirius. I would say the second star in brightness of the sky after the sun. Of course, planets are not included in this competition. But if you look east, you can easily see that spring is coming, as the Big Dipper and the Big Bear Ursa Major are climbing again after just moving low above the horizon. And also you can easily see the shape of the lion, Leo, which is already very well visible. It is also complete, you see. The lion is complete with the head and also with the tail. And of course, this is what you can see at 8 p.m. your local time. But if you wait later and later in the night, you will of course see the autumn stars going away definitely, while the winter stars will move west, and the spring ones will really conquer basically all the sky, as many spring constellations are still below the horizon. Of course, to see them you have to wait very late in the night or later in the month and in the year. I agree with Jimmy with saying that it really looks like a lion. Sometimes people is not happy understanding that a given constellation is so different. Once compared with the name, with the shape, the name should at least recognize. But I agree that Orion is just great, and it is a wonderful shape. As well as also the Canis Major. It is fantastic for me because it is really a dog. Of course, this is funny also to see what is what, and what is basically very similar to the name of the constellation itself, you know. But I want to go to have a better look to the different directions, to give some details about the constellations we can enjoy in this period of time. I will start as usual showing the western horizon, as those stars are moving away, so it is better to start there because those stars are there just for short time. If you miss them, you have to wait the very next day. So here are the Western stars, and I think that you can easily recognize now what I mentioned earlier, that is the autumn constellations. They are now visible in a good detail, and you can even see here planet Jupiter. I just want to mark planet Jupiter 2. Here it is, as Jupiter is ending a very, very long season of visibility, and now it is really going away. But it is still there, saying goodbye at the beginning of the night. It is shining among the fishes, a pale zodiacal constellation. Of course, Pegasus is there, also Andromeda, and Perseus is shining very high at the beginning of the night after the astronomical twilight. But you can even see that the bull, Taurus, is now in the western part of the sky. That is, I would say, the western winter constellation, and seeing it in this western part of the sky is saying some way that the winter is going away, as the first winter constellation to appear is now approaching the western part of the sky. So time is going and the spring is pushing. But you can even see here Cassiopeia and Cepheus. These are just, I must say, other interesting constellations. They will be always above the horizon if you are north enough from the equator. And Cassiopeia is particularly well visible every time of the year. It is a circumpolar constellation. At least I have to underline this if you are at the right latitude. If you are close to the equator, you will miss at some point Cassiopeia. But let's go to look south, and I want to share with you the south details, and we can really admire here the wonderful Orion constellation with its western shield. This is fantastic, I must say. I really believe that we have here perhaps the most intriguing constellations of the sky, with plenty of stories. It is amazing to recognize how many different legends are written among these stars, especially Orion. You have plenty of different versions, and you can really read for years different stories about the very same stars. And this is for me truly, truly fantastic. I always love to recognize that a lot of anthropological and ethnological meanings are distributed among the stars, not only science. And for me, perhaps the human component here is, for me, even more important, because it is like, I would say, a fil rouge connecting our culture, modern culture, with the culture from our ancestors. This is for me very, very important. All around Orion, you can see the bull, you can see the twins, the dogs, and so on. But I really want to show and add also the constellation, the star names, as they are truly fantastic, I think. And let me share the constellation names with you as well. Here they are coming. And you will see very famous names like Betelgeuse, like Aldebaran. I really love the name Aldebaran, which means the one who follows, as this star is actually following the Pleiades, the famous seven sisters, as it rises later than the sisters. You also have Sirius, of course, Procyon and Gomeza, two stars in Canis Minor, and also you can really appreciate the shape of Gemini, twins, Castor and Pollux. This is a truly fantastic place. You also have an hair under the feet of Orion. That is, I must say, the animal Orion has just captured during his hunting. So this is a truly hunting scene here. So you really have a nice story. And it is funny to see how the bull is actually going to fight apparently fight against Orion, you see, with the shield of Orion just protecting him from the bull assault from the west. And if you leave the south direction, going to look east, here you will see also what is coming up among the stars of next spring. I'm going to share the star map with you, and the lion shape is really now showing at its best, and once again I agree that the lion is looking wonderful. And I see people that they see Bellatrix, yes, the name on the Amazon star, sorry, and that name suggested me the name of my observatory, so I have a special attention for those stars, I must say, as Orion was perhaps the very first constellation I spotted when I was really young, a child, and that was for me wonderful. I love the name of Bellatrix, also the meaning, I must say, giving an idea of a fighting person, a guy or a girl who does not surrender easily, you know. But it is time for me to describe this wonderful place, direction east, where you can see the lion at its full strength, and this is fantastic, I must say. I love really this impression of a lion which is climbing with all its majesty. This is wonderful, with the little king, the relatively bright star Regulus. But also here you see the big bear. Now you can enjoy it completely, as also the legs of the bear are now far away from the horizon. And also the Big Dipper with the very famous 7 stars, including Dubhe and Merak, who really help us finding the polar star. And as we really like the polar star too, we are going to look north in order to see what is under the polar star in the direction of the north horizon. Here is the star map, and the Polaris is always there, basically there, all the hours of your night, as this star is always rotating on itself, basically, even if this is not very accurate, but in principle that star is there, and every other star and constellation is rotating around the center of this apparent motion, that is the north celestial pole, where by chance Polaris is living these days and this year, in our epoch, I would say. You can also see the dragoon fully completed here, with the head and also with the very long body, with this strange and really moved body. You can see this is fantastic, as it is a very nice and huge constellation. And of course here you can still see Deneb, the bright tail of the swan, a typical summer star. And the funny thing is that at the end of the night, this time of the year, you can see Deneb again. So Deneb, at least at my own latitude, is just going to go away for a few hours, as it is almost a circumpolar star. But people living northern than me can see this every time of the year. I think that Jimmy can easily see Deneb all the year. And at least if I'm not calculating wrong the latitude of Jimmy. Okay, I see that Jimmy is promptly confirming this. But I also want to look at the very top of the sky, the point just overhead that we call the zenith. And in the middle of February at 8 p.m. you can see that at zenith you have the charioteer Auriga with the bright Capella with a wonderful color resembling the color of our sun, though Capella is brighter, significantly brighter has a larger luminosity than our sun, but the color is very similar. So this is what is in the very top of the sky, just directly overhead. So as I said, this is a wonderful moment just to explore, I would say, a number of different skies. You can still see something from the autumn, you have the full winter sky, and you can easily explore part or even the full spring sky if you are not going to sleep, basically. But if you concentrate your observations at the beginning of the night, of course, you will see just lions and I would say also the very first stars of the big bear, the Ursa Major. It is time for me to give you some suggestions. I would really love to suggest you the double cluster in Perseus. This is always a memorable view, and I just sending you a star map with the position of this double cluster marked. They are two open clusters appearing in the same field of view, and this is a very unforgettable vision because it is a very, very rich star field, and you can really have a great vision also with a small instrument. But if you have a large telescope, you will be impressed by the different colors of the stars showing and shining there. I remember a truly unforgettable night when I observed that place with a 12-inch telescope, and it was really fantastic. Something I will never forget. And here it is, the position of the cluster, which is visible with the naked eye if you are under a relatively dark sky. Of course, I will never be bored to look at the Pleiades, because Pleiades is for me the most impressive open star cluster we have there. It is impressive with any instrument, even with no instruments, I mean with just your precious eyes. And it is always funny to try to count how many Pleiades you can see without telescopes, just with your own natural eyes. And because this was a question discussed a lot in the past, but we know, of course, that Pleiades are a very numerous, with a few hundreds components, family of young stars. But when we say young, we are just meaning 100 millions of years, because stars really have a different time scale, you know. When you say when you say tomorrow in the typical stellar time scale, you are saying millions of years sometimes. If the star, for example, is the sun has a venerable age of 5 billions of years, and it will live again for the very same. So it is just in the middle of its life. And so just to make clear that the temporary ideas are just different when talking about the stars. But stars are not eternal. And this is also an intriguing concept. Another object you must see is, of course, the famous Orion Nebula. Once again, it is well visible also with the naked eye, but it is fantastic here to try every kind of optical tool, I would say, even the smallest binocular, then going to the larger telescope, and possibly to the largest ones. And if you have a very large telescope, you will be really shocked by this vision. I must say that we have really some monuments here. Pleiades, for example, and Orion Nebula are perhaps some true Masi in your lifetime, and don't miss them. Of course, you have more and more, because, for example, you can even enjoy the Hyades. Hyades is the open cluster showing all around the Aldebaran star, which is no part of the cluster, because it is just a perspective impression, because Aldebaran is closer and closer to us than the Hyades. The Hyades have that fantastic V shape marking the head of the bull, and it is a very nice vision as well. Once again, a family of young stars. Also, if you look in the in the direction of the Auriga. You will be impressed by the number of open star clusters you will find there. I will just remember Messier 36, 37 and 38, three fantastic open clusters visible with the modest telescope, and really you have plenty of fun, hours of enjoyment under the stars with these really nice clusters. I also want to mark the position of the Beeve, that is another famous open cluster in the middle of the faint Cancer constellation. I'm just sending the star map, which is once again visible with the naked eye if the night is dark enough, but a small instrument with a moderate magnification will really show you something fantastic. I want to mention also that in a few days the moon will show relatively close to the Pleiades, so it will be a sort of conjunction, and it is always a nice chance for you to capture images, pictures from the sky with these easy and bright objects. While, for example, if you are looking for planets, we say that Jupiter is leaving and you have just a very short time at the very beginning of the night, but later in the night you will have Saturn. Saturn is climbing and climbing. It is just gaining a better visibility night after night, and also the rings are showing better and better after the alignment we had a couple of 1 hour, 1 year and a half ago. So they are showing better and better. And also there is a storm right now on Saturn, and if you have a chance, don't miss this. This is just fantastic. Well, I think that we said enough for this fantastic February sky, and I still want to thank our technological partners, Unitron Italia Instruments, Software Bisque, Santa Barbara Instruments Group, Bader Planetarium and Planewave Instruments. Those partners had an important role for us this month when we introduced and started our new cutting-edge Masi telescope. Some of you already saw some of the very first images we did with the scope, and I'm really looking forward to have, I would say, some very clear nights to really exploit all its capabilities. And I take this opportunity to remember that the Virtual Telescope is very happy to provide many things on a volunteer basis, but of course the support of our many friends is always welcome. So we really and kindly promote donations for our many activities, also including maintenance at the observing site and technologies which are always improving. So this is why I take this liberty just to remember and to ask your kind support. I think that we said everything for tonight, and of course I really suggest you to stay tuned with us, as many things are coming. I cannot anticipate. I just anticipate that in less than 2 months by now we will celebrate the Global Astronomy Month with Astronomers Without Borders, and we will have a crazy, fantastic, unforgettable month among the stars. It will be April. Well, I think that this is really all, and Gianluca Masi from Virtual Telescope wishes to thank everybody, and I am already looking forward to share with you again the wonders of the night sky. So take care and have fun with the universe. Goodbye.